in the World T20. 2 games, as is the norm. One was a close run affair, one was an absolute walkover. I am delighted to say, because of course it was England beating Australia. So forgive me for that national pride. We have a great show for you tonight. Let me just introduce you to the panel, which is Akib Javid, Savid Richards, the lovely Sana Mir, Azam Mahmood, Rashid Latif and Umar Gul. And let's first look at the way that game unfolded between Australia and England. What a story this one is. Because Australia were under pressure, it seemed, right from the first ball. Bowled out at the end of the 20 overs for 125. Aaron Finch, the captain, did his best with 44. The England bowlers kept control pretty much throughout. And then I'm afraid that was what's known as a bit of a rout. 126 for 2 within 12 overs, so over 8 overs left at the end of the day. Joss Buttler, absolutely outstanding. 71 from just 32 balls, so England winning by 8 wickets with just the 50 balls remaining, Sana. So that's what's known as a one-sided victory. Did anyone tell England that they already had a match where they won with a very good run rate? They don't listen to other people, I don't think. I mean, a very, very comprehensive win, which I'm sure you'd love to discuss. Let's just have a quick look at the points table before we get into the discussion. It leaves England sitting very comfortably at the top of this group. 6 points from 3 games, 3 matches played, 3 wins. That net run rate is outstanding, almost 4, 3.948. On net run rate, South Africa goes second at the moment. Australia, with that crushing defeat, slipped to third. But they're just ahead of Sri Lanka, West Indies, both on 2 points. So, Sana, lots to talk about. Yeah, I think now it's going to be quite an uphill task for all these teams now, apart from England in this group. Everyone still has a chance mathematically, and it's going to be interesting how they play the next matches. The net run rate might come into play, and it's going to be quite an interesting. This group has really opened up now. Well, let's get the feelings from the left wing as to how that game went. Rashid bhai, खास तौर पे इस मैच के बारे में क्या बताएंगे?
नहीं, इस मैच से ये साबित हो गया कि बेस्ट टीम जो इस इवेंट की नज़र आई है वो इंग्लैंड नज़र आई है, कोई डाउट ही नहीं इसमें। इनकी फास्ट बॉलिंग, इनकी कैप्टनसी, इनकी फील्डिंग, इनकी बैटिंग और जो स्टाइल है इनका खेलने का, और लग रहा है इसमें कोई डाउट ही नहीं है। पाकिस्तान बहुत अच्छा खेला, लेकिन क्लोज मैच, लेकिन इन्होंने तो बिल्कुल ऑस्ट्रेलिया जैसी टीम को क्लोज भी नहीं आने दिया।
बिल्कुल, बहुत ही ज़बरदस्त उनकी ओवरऑल अप्रोच रही। अजहर भाई, जो ओवरऑल क्रिस वोक्स की खास तौर पे मैं बात आपसे करना चाहूँगी, नई बॉल का जो इस्तेमाल किया है और जो लेंस हिट किए हैं, उसके बारे में कुछ बताएंगे आप?
बिल्कुल, डेफिनेटली जैसे उन्होंने बॉलिंग की, आई थिंक इज़ वंडरफुल टैलेंट और अंडररेटेड है काफ़ी ज़्यादा इंग्लैंड में। जो है ना, उनकी जो स्किल है, जिस तरह वो बॉल को सीम करते हैं, स्विंग करते हैं, एंड आई थिंक उनकी जो एबिलिटी है एज अ ऑलराउंडर, वो टेस्ट मैच में भी उन्होंने 100 किया हुआ है। आई थिंक इज़ फिनोमिनल। और जो जिस तरह की आज उन्होंने बॉलिंग की, स्पेशली डेविड वार्नर के अगेंस्ट, जो है ना, जिस तरह लाइन उन्होंने हिट की और वहाँ से बॉल बाहर निकला और डेविड वार्नर को आउट किया, आई थिंक ही इज़ अ ब्रिलियंट न्यू बॉल बॉलर इन एंड ऑल कंडीशन। इसका ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड जो है वो ज़्यादा अच्छा नहीं है इंग्लैंड के अलावा, लेकिन आई थिंक ही इज़ अ वंडरफुल बॉलर।
और उमर भाई, आज मोइन अली की बॉलिंग की ज़रूरत ही नहीं पड़ी। पिछले मैच में 4 के 4 ओवर एक साथ करा दिए, और कप्तानी की बात राशिद भाई ने की है। क्या समझते हैं, ख़ास उसकी क्या वजह है? और ऑफ कोर्स हमें रिज़ल्ट तो देखा कि 125 पे आउट कर दिया ऑस्ट्रेलिया।
आई थिंक वो जो पीछे हो रहा है उसको फॉलो करने के वो गेम टू गेम प्लान कर रहे हैं, और जो भी अपोजिशन उनके कर ले तो उसके लिए नया प्लान बनाते हैं। लेकिन जो सबसे अच्छी जो चीज़ मुझे लगी कि उनके जो प्लान्स और फिर उन्होंने जो बॉलर ने जिस तरह एग्जीक्यूट किया उस चीज़ को, तो उसकी काफ़ी खुशी हुई। जिस तरह अर्ली ऑन वॉक्स ने एक टोन सेट कर दिया, जिस तरह का लाइक वार्नर के लिए जो फील्ड लिए, आपका स्लिप है, थर्ड मैन ऊपर है, पॉइंट डीप पॉइंट ले लिया, और जिस तरह उसका वो कॉर्ड बिहाइंड हुआ है, तो एक प्री प्लान उसको वो फील्ड लिए थे और प्री प्लान उसको बॉल किया। फिर जब राइट आए तो जिस कॉरिडोर के साथ वॉक्स ने बॉल किया, आई थिंक आउटस्टैंडिंग।
So they are saying that England has definitely come out as one of the most solid teams. They have a very good captain, as we talked about, and they have shown how different and how there's a huge difference at the moment from England and other teams in this competition. And of course, the game plan and how they plan for each and every team. Moeen Ali did not had to bowl, and in the last match he bowled 4 consecutive overs. And Chris Wokes, Azhar is saying that Chris Wokes is basically quite an underrated cricketer as far as...
Absolutely. Yeah. I thought Umar's last word in Urdu was outstanding too. Outstanding was the word you used. And the outstanding performance it was indeed in all departments. I mean, there are so many great things to talk about. You were talking about Chris Wokes and his resurgence, because he's come back into this team. A couple of years ago he wasn't part of the T20 team, and yet he's there causing havoc at the start of the innings.
Well, I can tell you for sure the wicket did help from the beginning. I think that was a good toss to win by Owen Morgan, and Chris Wokes did his very best in terms of the way the ball was dragging around, seaming around. And I will say this, just one observation. Regardless of how much you can hit a cricket ball, there's sometimes you need to defend. And early up, we did not see that today. It looked, Maxwell, he looked like he never knew how to play a forward defense. And there are times where I think you would have said that in order for you to be a great hitter of a cricket ball, especially when it's seaming around that early, you're not going to hit it after that, because you're not going to have much time, as he did. He was sent back to the pavilion rather quickly.
Do you know, that was a sentence I wasn't expecting to hear at all in these 3 weeks. Someone not being able to play a forward defensive. It seems, I mean, I take your point, it's a very good point. I mean, I take your point, it just seems completely out of context with T20. And in fact, I mean, listening to the commentary today, they were worrying, for instance, Shane Watson was suggesting, well, maybe more of a positive approach at the start might have, more intent, but the word he used was intent.
No, intent, you got to see it to do that.
Sure.
And the wicket wasn't quite suitable for you to be aggressive, as I guess some of the commentators were basically speaking about. It was difficult today for any batter who went in, and you can see that the technique just wasn't right in order for them to maybe get over that period, in order for them to have done some damage a little later on.
So do we assume that the pitch flattened out over the course of the game then? Because when England started their innings, I mean, I do take it it's 20 overs later, it was fresh at the start. I don't know what happened in the intervening hour and a half, but by the time England batted, it looked a very good pitch, of course.
You know, sometimes if you keep them losing wickets, see 7 for 1, then 15 for 3, then 24 for 4, then 51 for 5, they never settled. So if you keep on losing wickets, the new batsmen getting in, you know, wasting 2-3 balls, try to hit another out, the new one in. So once you are there, you spend few ball, you hit a 4, you hit a 6, then you feel confident. Only then you can keep going. I mean, look, they only hit 5 sixes and only 1 4 in Australian inning.
Yeah.
So that 4 sixes, or even 5 sixes, was like in the end.
They took a long time coming, yeah.
Isn't it?
But obviously with that start, with the ball moving around.
So if you are
wickets
there,
going down,
even Finch, he was, how many balls he played? 50 odd? 49.
Yeah.
49 and never looked confident, isn't it?
At one point, you could have had 3 slips and 2 gullies, and you wouldn't have felt that you were in a T20 match. That's how much I think the Australian batters looked a little ugly today.
Yeah, intent doesn't mean, you know, like you have to hit the ball.
Yes,
you know, like you can block the ball. You can show your intent. You know, leaving the ball or playing the ball with intent. Because when people talk about intent, you know, they always think, you know, like, you're gonna go and hit the ball. So that's not.
Indeed. Should we put it back to your side? So that innings from Buttler, is that as good as we've seen in this tournament? Do you think?
Yeah, I think it was definitely brilliant. And what we talked about, pitch getting flat, I think we have to give credit to Buttler, because when Josh Hazlewood came on to bowl, on the very first ball he used his feet and made sure that he changed the length. He would just bring the ball into his own
He
arc.
and Jason Roy both
Yeah,
showed
so
intent.
Yeah, they definitely.
Positive intent with the hitting power as well.
So,
Conditions were different.
so मेरा सवाल जो अजहर भाई राशिद भाई आपसे कि जब स्टीवन स्मिथ को आप खिला रहे हैं, 1 डाउन खेल रहे हैं, उन्होंने भी ज़्यादा बॉल्स का सामना नहीं किया, पर उसके बाद मैक्सवेल जो है जिस तरह की क्रिकेट वो खेली سر ویوین نے بھی ذکر کیا ہے.
دیکھیں
کیا سمجھتے ہیں مڈل آرڈر کیا بہتر ہو سکتا ہے؟
ان کے بعد 3 بیٹسمین ہیں جس میں 2 کی ٹیکنیک اوپنرز کی اتنی اچھی نہیں ہے, جس میں ڈیوڈ وارنر اور فنچ, جہاں پہ بال سوئنگ ہوگی یہ میٹ نہیں کر سکتے. یہ بہت دفعہ دیکھا ہے. اگین لاسٹ میچ جو تھا اس میں بال اسٹریٹ آ رہی تھی جس میں فنچ نے شاٹ مارے سامنے سے, سوئنگ نہیں ہوئی. پچ کا یہ کہ ایوری ڈے میچ ہے, روزانہ میچز ہیں, تو اس میں زیادہ پانی ڈل جائے دبئی میں تو وہ موئسچر ہوتا ہے ارلی مطلب آفٹرنون میں ہوگا, اور وہ بھرپور فائدہ اٹھایا انہوں نے. جہاں پہ 2 سلپ یا 3 سلپس آ گئی ہیں, 2 گلیز, اس کا مطلب ہے پچ میں بہت کچھ تھا. ان کے بعد 3 ٹوٹل پیور بیٹسمین ہیں, فنچ ہو گیا, وارنر اینڈ اسمتھ, باقی تمام آل راؤنڈرز ہیں. اسٹوائنس ہو گیا, میکسویل ہو گیا, میتھیو ویڈ ہے,
یہ ذکر آپ نے پری شو میں بھی کیا,
ایشٹن ایگر ہو گیا, زیمپا, اسٹارک, سارے آل راؤنڈر ہیں, کمنگز ہو گیا. ان کی جو ٹریول ہیڈ تھا ان کے پاس, ایک اچھا بیٹسمین تھا جو کہ روٹیٹ کرتا تھا. مارش کا جو دوسرا بھائی تھا, کیا نام ہے, شون مارش. اس ٹائپ کے پلیئر یہ T20 میں بہت سکسیزفل ہیں اس پارٹ آف دا ورلڈ میں, سب کانٹیننٹ میں, دبئی میں. یہ ہیٹر نہیں چلتے. وارنر فیل حیدرآباد سن رائز میں, اسٹوائنس فیل بنگلور میں, اور میکسویل بھی. یہ سارے تقریباً میکسویل نے جو, لیکن لاسٹ ٹائم اگر دیکھیں تو وہ 10 بھی کراس نہیں کیا. تو یہ سکسیزفل پلیئر نہیں ہے یہاں پہ, کیونکہ ہر بال پہ لمبی ہٹ مارتے ہیں. یہاں پہ آپ کو روٹیٹ کرنا, جبھی پاکستان کو کیوں فائدہ ہوا, شعیب ملک, یہ 150 140 والے گیمز ہیں یہاں پہ. جہاں تک بات ہے بٹلر کی, بٹلر سامنے کھیلنے نہیں آیا, اس نے اپنے لیگ کلیئر کیے اور پھر مارتا چلا گیا. اسٹریٹ نہیں کھیلتے یہ لوگ. ڈفرینٹ میتھڈ ہے انگلش پلیئر کا کھیلنے کا, جو کہ T20 کے لیے آئیڈیل ہے.
بٹلر کی بات آپ نے کی, بٹلر کا پیکج بھی تیار ہے ہمارے پاس, وہ بھی دیکھتے ہیں. یہ بٹلر کی اننگز تھی, 32 بالز میں 71 رنز بنائے, 4 چوکے اور 5 چھکے, 221 کا اسٹرائک ریٹ تھا. سر ویوین, what do you how do you like about?
Just magnificent, just the way in which he just bludgeoned the ball in. You ain't gonna see a better T20 half century than that. And I think with the intent that he came out, that aggressive mindset, I'll tell you something, if this was a boxing match, the corner would have thrown the towel in. That's how savage I think he were today.
These go a long way. I mean, these shots are going not just over the boundary, they are going
Huge,
deep into the
big,
crowd.
big, yeah.
Look at his hand speed, you know.
He just seems to have all the time. And just the quality of this batting, I think, is, to use Umar's word again, outstanding.
You know, if the score is like 125, you hit 1 or 2 balls and your confidence is there, and then you can dictate your terms. The pressure is one thing which actually is difficult to handle, and sometimes the same players playing with a flair, with lots of options, and the same players next 2-3 days, which you can see not even middling the ball, not even taking the singles even. So it's all about pressure. Tiny score, you got 2-3 hits in first 2 overs from Jason and Butler, and it's done.
Indeed. Well, you'll have to excuse the big smile on my face because that was just awesome to watch. Obviously, as an Englishman, I'm admiring JOSS Buttler and the whole England team, their performance today, but I'm not taking anything for granted for the rest of the tournament.
I'm glad you're saying that.
Because we know how things can change. Good days, bad days. At the moment, England are having good days. We'll take a break. Well, welcome back to Game on Hay. We're discussing the Australia-England game today. And just in case you hadn't realised, England won it by a distance. So I just want to make that point one more time while I can. And there are so many performances, Sana, we can look at, because the bowling was excellent, the fielding was excellent, the batting was outstanding. Where would you like to start?
I think we can start with Jordan, the 3 wickets that he got. I'll just take it to Umar Gul, because generally we go to him last. So Jordan کے بارے میں جو 3 وکٹس لیے ہیں اس کا پیکج ساتھ ساتھ دیکھیں گے اور آپ بتائیں بھی اس کے بارے میں.
آئی تھنک کافی ایکسپیرینس ہے اس کو, T20 میں ڈفرینٹ لیگز کھیلتا ہے, اور جو اس کی جو سب سے جو اچھی چیز ہے کہ یہ کافی شارپ ہے, مائنڈ اس کا بڑا زبردست ہے, کافی تیز اس کا مائنڈ چلتا ہے, بیٹسمین کو بڑی جلدی اسیس کر لیتا ہے جو اس کی کوالٹی ہے, اور assess the condition کہ پچ کی کیا ریکوائرمنٹ ہے, اسی حساب سے آپ نے لائن و لینتھ کو رکھتا ہے. اگر آپ دیکھیں اسٹارٹ میں اس نے بال کو سوئنگ ہونے دیا, جب اینڈ پہ ان کے بیٹسمین مارنے لگے جس طرح یہ مار رہا تھا پیچھے بال کے لیے کڑا تھا, تو اس نے بالکل اس کے ساتھ بلف کھیلا ہے, آگے یارکر پہ یارکر بال کیا. تو آئی تھنک کافی کلیور ہے, اور اس کو ایک تو یہ کہ ڈفرینٹ لیگ کھیل رہا ہے, اس کو T20 کا بڑا آئیڈیا ہو گیا, کافی شارپ ہے, بیٹسمین کو بڑا جلدی ریڈ کرتا ہے.
راشد بھائی آپ کچھ ایڈ کرنا چاہیں گے اس میں؟
پیس چینج کرتا ہے اور ویری بھی کرتا ہے, ایک ہی طرف بال کی ایک چینل پہ اور باہر رکھی ہے زیادہ تر. اسمتھ کی جو وکٹ لی ہے وہ حیرت ہے مجھے نا, کیونکہ باہر تھی, اس کو کٹ یا کور پہ مار سکتا تھا, وہ مڈ آن پہ آؤٹ ہے, بڑا اچھا کیچ واکس نے شاید کیا ہے اس نے. لیکن بہت زبردست پلیئر ہیں, بیٹنگ تو آ نہیں رہی ان کی. اور لیکن یہاں پہ اگر دیکھتے ہیں ٹیمل ملز بڑا ایکسپینسو ہوا ہے اس میچ میں, ٹیمل ملز بہت ایکسپینسو ہے. یہاں پہ سلو اوور نہیں چلیں گے, یہاں پہ ٹیم آؤٹ ہو رہی ہے تو آپ ہارڈ بالنگ کرنی چاہیے تھی. اور دوسرا لیونگسٹون, تو آسٹریلیا کا بیڈ ڈے تھا, اس کا مطلب ہے لیونگسٹون 4 اوور 17 رن, آئی تھنک 15 رن, کیا بول سکتے ہیں پھر,
کس کو مارنا تھا انہوں نے,
کس کو مارنا تھا. تو یہ کیسے, یہ ایڈیشنل پریشر یہ سب کانٹیننٹ میں آ گیا ہے ان کے پاس جو لیگ اسپنر ہے, اور یہ اچھا اضافہ ہے انگلش ٹیم میں. لیکن یہ ٹیمل مل کر میں اظہر سے بعد میں پوچھنا چاہوں گا کہ کیا وجہ ہو سکتی ہے.
اسی پہ آ رہا ہوں. آئی تھنک سم ٹائم آپ کو جو نا زیادہ جب آپ پریڈکٹیبل بھی ہو جاتے ہیں نا تو آپ کو رنس پڑ سکتے ہیں. ٹیمل مل کا یہ ہے کہ وہ آئی تھنک آج پریڈکٹیبل ہو گیا, وہ یا تو تیز بال کر رہا تھا یا سلور ون کر رہا تھا. تو آپ کو میچ ٹو میچ, آپ کو جس طرح میں ارلی کہا کہ آپ نے بیٹسمین کو چیک کرنا ہے, اپوزیشن کو چیک کرنا ہے. ہر میچ میں اسپیشلی T20 میں آپ ایک ہی پلان کے ساتھ نہیں جا سکتے. یا تو یہ کہ آپ کا وہ پلان اگر ہے نا تو آپ کو اس پہ اتنا کمانڈ ہو کہ آپ اس پہ سکسیس ہی آپ کو ملے. ادروائز اگر آپ پریڈکٹیبل ہو گئے تو آپ کو مار پڑ سکتی ہے, جس طرح آج ٹیمل مل کو. ادر دین وہ اتنا برا بولا نہیں جس سے اس کی کیریئر جس طرح اس نے سٹارٹ کیا تھا, لیکن سم ٹائم جب پریڈکٹیبل ہو جاتے ہوں تو آپ کو رنس پڑتے ہیں.
آپ کچھ ایڈ کرنا چاہیں گے پھر میں؟
نہیں, آئی تھنک کہ جارڈن کی بات ہو رہی تھی, تو آئی تھنک جارڈن جو ہے نا ویری ایکسپیرینس بالر اور ہائیسٹ وکٹ ٹیکر ہے اس فارمیٹ میں انگلینڈ کے لیے, اور اراؤنڈ دا ورلڈ وہ کھیلے ہیں. ڈیتھ بالر جو ہے نا, آئی تھنک ون آف دا بیسٹ ڈیتھ بالر ان دا ورلڈ جارڈن کی جو کلاس ہے. اور باقی خیر جارڈن کی بات ہو رہی تھی تو جارڈن پہ ہی رہتے ہیں, باقی بھی پلیئر آ جائیں گے پھر بات کریں گے.
We are of course very impressed by Jordan's especially the death bowling that he has done, but of course the important wicket of Smith at the top with a very good catch by Wickets as well.
Yeah, it was the classic wide of off stump, so wide it would have been wide. Only Smith could have dragged that from outside off stump to I suspect, Akib.
Yeah, I mean, look, I worked with him. He was with us in T10. Very disciplined man. Once in a meeting, I wanted to convey a message to one or two blokes. They walked into the league without any preparation, without any fitness. So I mentioned, look, I want more Jordans, the people who actually play this game from here and from here. They're clean minds and good hearts, and they value themselves, because you think before you're putting something in your mouth, because we have to respect ourselves.
Oh yeah.
So again, the death bowlers are important in the world, and he's, I think, one of the best.
Yes.
Consistently, it's not that you got 2 good games and then like Tamman Mills 1 or 2 very bad game.
Yeah.
So he hardly had, I haven't seen him like going all over the place, always there, good with the Yorkers and uses his brain well. So I think he's one of the best death bowler.
I mean, for instance, Viv, that Yorker that got Pat Cummins, perfect Yorker, great example of how to bowl it, and that came after Cummins had just smacked 2 sixes at the other end when Mills had offered him a couple of length balls.
You couldn't ask for a better comeback. You know, he's been very special over the years, and you got to thank the West Indies and Barbados really for another export.
So okay, looking ahead, and this is assuming nothing, taking nothing for granted, if by any chance England happened to win the tournament, as I say, long way to go, would you like his medal to go to the West Indies?
Well, he chose his country.
In that case, we'll keep it.
I mean, this World Cup.
we can keep the claim
I mean, look,
for all the players.
after winning the
You
World
can have the
Cup,
World Cup.
after
You can't take away the export. You can't take away that at all.
We'll have a photocopy done.
if England wins, this World Cup will go many countries.
Okay, I've still got the list of births. I can still prove to you
David?
that 8 out of the 11 were born in England. Yes.
David,
Yeah.
even if you bring the birth certificates, even if you bring the birth certificates, this World Cup is going to many countries.
He's a Surrey boy. He's a Surrey boy.
As I have said before, we are very happy to be multicultural and to welcome people into our country to play for England. Especially
क्राइम क्या है
if we win.
इसका जॉर्डन का ये तो खेल रहा था इंग्लिश टीम से लेकिन जोफ्रा आर्चर को भी लेके आया साथ में सेकंड टाइम
The first hand he chose England,
Yep.
and then he influenced Archer to come and join him.
That's it. No, to be fair, England have been a country that have been of great help in terms of what they want, the package that they would like, and to be fair, they've chosen two good guys, Jordan and Archer.
And don't forget that 30 years ago we gave you guys a lot of county experience. So the entire West Indies team.
Come on, if you're
came
good
to the
enough.
enough.
If you're good enough, you're going to take your talent right around the globe.
Anyway, congratulations. Let's have just a chat about Aaron Finch and his innings, because wickets were tumbling. So obviously you're going to be constrained as captain, opening batsman. You watch the wickets going down the other end. You've got to try and make something out of it. And that, how do we rate the 44? What did you make of that effort, Viv?
To be fair, as captain, he did the things that I think was necessary of him. It wasn't the usual Aaron Finch, but he gave them a chance, especially if you get over 100. It's a total that I believe that you could look to. Enough. Just wasn't enough.
Certainly not.
I think he's too high, stays too high. The pitches are UA pitches. He need to go down under the ball and then try to hit. That's, I think, after bowling 49, 50 balls, still not comfortable, because these pitches are not Finch type. So if he
Not
wants
quite,
to improve, you need to go down under the ball and try to hit.
But
Is
he
it
got
the- is
he
it
got
the
a good
same
track
reason?
record though. He got 300 against Pakistan in those pitches.
But maybe
In one day,
in one day or
Yeah.
test matches.
In one day.
Is it the same
one day.
reason that the West Indies, some of the West Indies batters are struggling also? I mean,
I mean,
some
look,
of,
we have
especially
seen
Chris
we have
Gayle and
we have
they
seen
are they stand
UAE. How many? Four PSLs,
Yeah.
and there are hardly 200s. And it was like two years back when Sharjah was a different soil. Recently, IPL, the recent leg of PSL, now what's going on. I mean, it's very challenging pitches, and it's challenge your technique
If you have one.
if you have one.
Okay, well. Okay, so as we're talking about technique, let's have a little look at the way the Australian wickets went down. You can talk us through the techniques or lack of involved.
ये देखें जो है ना बॉल वहाँ से पड़ा और उसके बाद क्रॉस द सीम था, ठीक है, एंगल अवे हुआ और
नहीं चल के आगे भी आए
आगे
थोड़ा
He's much better looking at picking his nose.
Thanks, Viv. That's the sort of analysis we look for on this show.
स्टॉइनिस गुगली पे आउट हुआ 7-8 सीजन से इंडिया में खेल रहा है आईपीएल अभी तक रीड नहीं हुई कि गुगली कौन सी है
अभी जो वेट जो आउट हुए देखें वो मिस टाइम हुआ, इतनी ज़्यादा एलिवेशन नहीं मिली उनको और बाउंड्री पे कैच हुए, मिस टाइम किया उन्होंने.
He hit that
That's-
sweetly.
That's one of those ones, if you're just looking at the first shot, you say, well played shot, oh no, it's out. This one,
catch,
this is a
good
great
catch,
catch,
good
this is a
catch.
fabulous catch.
and the
This-
fielding
was
of
Jason, right?
England. I mean,
I think they were absolutely brilliant on the field.
yeah.
Remarkable catches.
गुड बॉल
And that's the
That
delivery.
is the Yorker of the day, yeah.
That's
Quality.
why,
Finds
that's
its
why
way
he's
through
playing
off
all
inside.
the leagues around the world.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
But he was saying after the game that he really
Not
practices
playing
every
IPL.
day. He practices.
Yes, I work with him. I work for England as well. So Surrey,
Yeah.
I work with him at
I've
Surrey as
been,
well. So every day, you know, he goes there and put the marker there and bowl Yorkers.
Okay, that's another copy of his medal we need to send somewhere. So you've got one going to Viv, one going to you.
No,
That's
no.
3 copies of his medal.
No,
yeah.
he's a Surrey boy. So
And I'll tell you something too. It couldn't have happened to a nicer individual.
yes.
I think having met him for a few times around the PSL, he's just a magnificent individual, and you like to see individuals, you know, who are nice enough guys have success.
Yeah. That's a very important
Indeed.
message.
Just talking about Yorkers and lengths, because we saw actually Timo Mills, who's had a pretty good, good couple of games before this, missed a few of those varieties today, missed his length a bit, and he was the one guy that went, 45 off his 4, although he did pick up 2 wickets. I mean, it's quite a fine difference, isn't it? I mean, on a good day, you nail it, and he's meant to be a very good death bowler. Today just wasn't his day.
Important thing is that first you need to read the pitch.
Yep.
Which ball is
Yeah.
good on this pitch? Previously, the pitch was like was stopping, holding a bit, where you can use your lots of slower ones, slow bouncers. Pitch like this, there was enough seam and swing that it should be like odd ball back of the hand. Most of them should be the seam ball, trying to get batsmen out in the slip rather than bowling like 2 to 3 slower ones. So I think it's wrong choices sometimes.
Yeah. So who's bowled the best Yorkers? Jordan one was a great one today. We've seen Shine Shafridi bowl some good ones.
With the new balls,
With the
especially.
new balls, I mean,
that's very
which can
difficult
be
ball.
just as important. Yeah.
And Haris Rauf,
Yeah.
he's good.
Mitchell Stark,
Bumrah.
Mitchell Stark,
Bumrah.
Today.
Bumrah's good, yeah.
Bumrah,
Bumrah.
Yeah.
and who else?
Mitchell Stark.
Bumrah,
Bravo.
Mitchell Stark.
You don't get extra points for saying the same name twice.
Umar
So
Gul.
we're back into history. How different? Okay, here's the question though. Because people of our generation, for instance, swear by the Yorker, we say, what a good ball it is, and it still obviously has value. But in the meantime, the last decade, there have been so many varieties: back of the hand, front of the hand, slower ball bouncers. I mean, where's the trend going to take us, or how good is the Yorker still?
I think it's still a best ball. I work in hundreds. I work in T10.
Yep.
We get the percentage of the getting runs on the Yorker delivery is 1%. You know, like 1 run a ball. And the length ball, you know, we played all formats. The length ball, heavy length ball, is the second highest, 1.28,
Yeah.
and then the short one, 1.64, and then you go on and on. You know, like the Yorker and the length ball is the key thing, even in T10 and 100 cricket as well, and this cricket. So like we are watching here. You know, if you see Nokia bowling today, hitting
Yeah.
the pitch hard onto the stump, so it's very difficult on executing the plan which you practice.
Yeah.
If you practice hard enough in the nets, you know, like target bowling, when I work with these guys, so you say, okay, we're going to bowl 30 Yorkers to have a match between them and see who's the best guy to do that. So if you can train yourself according to the match situation, you become a better death bowler.
Okay.
As simple as that.
Perfect.
Like,
Okay.
अजहर और तीनों से सवाल ये है कि यॉर्कर आपने कहा कि वाइट बॉल में हो रही है और स्लो ऑन बहुत हो रही है, लेकिन इसकी वजह से पेस कम नहीं हो गई। टेस्ट क्रिकेट में अगर देखा जाए, टेस्ट मैचेस में यॉर्कर किधर है, लाइक वसीम अकरम, वकार यूनुस, जूल गार्नर, तो ये बॉलर ख़त्म होते जा रहे हैं। डैरन गॉफ के टेस्ट मैचेस में यॉर्कर वो बिल्कुल फिनिश होती नज़र आ रही है, उसकी वजह। और पेस भी अगर हम देखें, आप प्रैक्टिस में T20 में कराते हो कि स्लो ओवर वन, स्लो बाउंसर, यानी कटर बॉलिंग ज़्यादा है, तो इस वजह से हमारी टेस्ट क्रिकेट में पेस स्लो नहीं हो गई और यॉर्कर ख़त्म हो रहे हैं।
और इससे
यॉर्कर
पहले कि आप
का,
इससे पहले
sorry.
आप लोग सॉरी जवाब दें, क्योंकि हमें एक छोटे से ब्रेक पे जाना है और राशिद भाई ने बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट सवाल किया और अगर आपको उसका जवाब चाहिए